Hey, welcome to the Inner Circle podcast, where growth minded leaders come together to build better businesses and better lives. I'm your host, Hector Alvarado. Here, we don't do theory, we share real lessons, real systems, and real strategies you can use right away. This is a community for people committed to growth, impact, and supporting each other on the journey. You're in the right room, my friends. Let's get started. Welcome everyone to another one of our Inner Circle calls. And as usual, we are going through our series, and this week we're in part three of the AI Integration Playbook, and we like to call this one "Escaping the Pilot Purgatory" because we do believe that you do get stuck, from time to time in that purgatory stage of playing but never actually completing anything with your playing. You just out there doing, to do. And so we are going to today really break it down and provide you five different tools and really a couple concepts that are going to help you in breaking out of the purgatory and really get some really good ROI for your time. And then we're going to pass it over to Willie, who's going to do some live demo on the tools today. So we're excited. We're super keen to see what we do with some of these AI tools, and maybe we'll convert more of you today. So let me start with this. Now we call it the pilot purgatory, but it's this frustrating space where you're constantly testing, experimenting, and exploring, but never actually deploy true AI solutions, right? Like we've all seen that. At least any AI solutions that deliver real value. Well, why does this happen? And often it is because we never set clear success criteria before we get started. We didn't define what this works actually looks like. We just test forever, hoping for clarity that unfortunately never comes. And so today we're going to equip you with, I said some powerful frameworks to escape this purgatory for good. And so by the end of this tutorial, you'll understand three specific things. Number one, your 30-day pilot protocol. This is a structured approach to testing AI. We want it to be structured. We don't want you testing for the sake of just testing and playing. There needs to be a why. Okay. We need to also set clear success criteria before you begin. And we're going to help you build your AI tech stack strategically, one proven tool at a time. So let's jump right into it. In 2026, here's a reality. Okay. And recent studies show that 64% of organizations are stuck experimenting. So first, there's a large chunk of organizations that are still not even experimenting with AI, but those that are, 64 are stuck in that experimenting phase, never scaling their AI initiatives to actual production. Only a fraction, and that's like 8%, have actually taken AI agents and deployed them into production. So what does this mean? This is why a lot of people are still feeling stuck with this pilot phases because most of them fail. Not because the tools don't work, but because no one defined that success up front. And think of it like this. Okay, you decide you want to get fit. You buy a fancy gym membership, right? You even go out and get some of that fancy Lululemon gear or whatever gear that's out there that is, famous. But you go a few times, you feel good, but you never truly set any specific goals. So you don't even know if it's working, right? So imagine if you flip that and you say, well, I want to run 5Ks in 3 months, and I want to be able to lift, 200 pounds by the end of the year. Well, now you have a clear definition of what success is. And so you eventually, start chasing that success. Otherwise, what's going to happen is if you don't have it, you eventually lose motivation, you stop going to the gym, and that gym membership just becomes another wasted expense. Who's done that, by the way, with the gym? Because I think, early stages, I've been there, right? And so not anymore. I like to go now quite often, but in the early stages, that was quite familiar for me. And so we see this again in the AI pattern is you buy a tool, You sign up for it, right? And you say, let's try it, see what happens. And you use it from time to time, maybe once or a couple times a week, maybe a few times a month, with no clear measurement. And eventually you forget about it. And then you repeat the same cycle with the next shiny tool. Now, the cost of this cycle is actually significant because you wasted subscription dollars and time in this phase. And when we talk about subscriptions, you could be talking anywhere from $50 to $200 a month multiplied by several tools and all of the wasted time, so dozens of hours in learning how to apply these tools. Once you abandon them, you have all this wasted activity, plus the one number that most people forget is the team frustration that comes afterwards. So that's another thing that we have to consider in our data point. And then ultimately you do all this and have zero ROI, right? And you're sitting there saying, well, we still need a better way. So the solution of this is implement this 30-day pilot protocol. This is your roadmap out of this purgatory. It is designed for rapid testing, clear decision making, and a strategic scaling output. So we'll start with step one. Pick one use case. This one is critical because a lot of us who are trying to do a lot and we're trying to solve a lot of problems will look to solve it all or everything at once. Please don't do that. Pick one problem, one tool that you're going to test, not 5 tools. Okay. Focus on a singular high impact problem. And your criteria selection for what that is, we gave you that through the last couple tutorials, but remembering highest ROI potential. So from your initial calculations, where can AI make the biggest difference, right? Low complexity to start, aim for that quick win, not a strategic bet, meaning you're not betting your house on this. You understand you're going to be working on the low-hanging fruit. You want to build confidence and momentum on these tools. You want to make sure that it's low risk. If the pilot fails, it shouldn't be mission critical. It's not going to cost your business a lot of wasted time and or impact, especially internally and externally to your customers. And then you want to be clear before and after measurement. Okay, can you easily quantify the time saved, the quality improved, or the cost reduced? So, for example, automating email responses for routine questions or summarizing long documents. These are very easy to quantify because you can see how much time you've shaved off your previous activity. That was step one. Okay. Step two is define the success criteria. This is critical. This is the most important step. You must answer the questions before starting the pilot. This is your what does success look like? Remembering the gym analogy, right? So, I want to run 5Ks by this time. So you know what your end and what success looks like. So be specific, use numbers. If this tool works, I want to see 5 hours reduced from my email tasks, right? So how much time should it save? What's the acceptable accuracy or quality level that you're going to see? There's no point if you're saving 5 hours, but the accuracy is like 80% good, or sorry, less than 80% good. So you're not wanting to work with junk just because it's saving you 5 hours, and then understanding who's going to use it. Who's the person that should start testing this and then expand? What is the cost? Understanding that tool subscription plus setup time. Do not forget your setup time. Many entrepreneurs and many leaders focus on the tool subscription cost, but leave out the setup time. And sometimes that setup time could be quite lengthy. Understanding when do we decide to scale or kill? This is a set decision date. This is a non-negotiable deadline. What happens again is that some people will start on something and say, we're going to test it out, and they test forever. They never get that ROI, but they continue testing. So in this model, we're saying have an end date, have an expiration date. You're either going to see wins by that date, and you're going to identify if you continue to scale or you kill it because it's not worth the expected outcome that you set before you started testing it. Okay. So Why does this all matter so much? Because the data beats feelings, and this is something that is very important. You might feel like you're winning by testing and never truly growing and putting to work, but the data will define success. And the data will tell you when it's time to stop testing and stop relying on vague impressions. And so, again, you're going to ensure that you go into this with some strategy. So the first is that execution phase. Week one, you want to set up and implement the tool. That means that you're going to need setup and training and a period to do that. And we talked about this as a 30-day timeline, right? So days 1 through 7, we're going to get things up and running. We're going to train your pilot user. So this should be anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of hands-on training, not just a demo. Like, don't do a 15-minute demo and then set your individual out to run. Prepare the adequate time to train the individual. Create a specific SOP. So that's a standard operating procedure. This should be 1 to 2 pages and guide the individual on how to use the pilot tester and the future scaling outlook. So what is it? What does this look like when it's all documented? And clear instructions for the individual that's going to be doing the testing. Please don't make this a 50-page manual because no one's going to read it and it's just going to be junk. Okay. And then, of course, you're going to set up your baseline metrics. And then you move into your weeks 2 to 3, which are your testing weeks. This is where your tester will actually track results, understand time logs, quality checks, and make sure that you're documenting what's working and what's not. Be ready to adjust settings and prompts and workflows as you have that time devoted for this time period. This is when you're going to know if the quality of the AI is actually working, if you're getting good accuracy, good quality, good outputs, or does it need heavy editing? Does it need a lot of like back and forth with the bot? Because this is also going to yield your frustration level. Is it helping the human, or is it just annoying the user? And that's something that we want to make sure that we get clear on. Now, very important on this though, don't give up in week 2 if the learning curve is too real for the tester, because you're going to have bumps. Understand that and communicate that up front. Weeks 1 through 2 will be a little bumpy. These are going to be often the hardest times of implementation and testing because you have to learn something that there's no real manual for learning the different AI tools. You have to learn by playing with it. And what we see is typically by week 3 is when you start to see true results. This is when you start to quantify and move into weeks 4, which is your measurable tasks. And those are like day 22 to 30 to the back end of that month. And you can actually see how you calculated your actual time. You can calculate your actual cost saved. You can look at your actual quality output. And this is when you jump into your final decision phase. This is on day 30, not day 45, not day 55, right? And it's not, let's try longer. It's you make one of 3 decisions, no more limbo. And I know in past you've heard me say you're either pregnant or you're not, right? Well, we're going to be able to like really lock that decision down. And you're going to make 3 decisions. Number one, you're either going to scale. And how do you decide if you scale? Well, because you know that it saves you significant time, the quality was acceptable, and the accuracy was acceptable. The user wants to keep using it. The ROI was positive after you broke down the data. So if you decide to scale it, well, what do you do next? Then you have to go and immediately add a few more users, 2 to 3 more users, because this becomes now the ecosystem that will be your internal trainers, and they will scale this AI tool for the rest of your company. Your second decision will be to optimize it. That means that the criteria here is that it shows promise. Is it quite there? Saves some time, but not enough. The quality needs improvement, and you see potential because the charges and the output are still quite low. So you might not decide that you're going to scale it quite yet. This might require some fixing, some tweaks. Maybe the workflow wasn't right. At that point, then you might say, look, I'm willing to run another 30-day pilot using the changes that we will implement. And then I have only two options. That's to scale it or kill it after you decide to optimize. And then the third decision that you will do is to kill it. That means that you found it didn't save you meaningful time. The quality was completely unacceptable. And the user is quite loud about not wanting to use this, and there's no clear ROI. So you cancel the subscription immediately on day 30th. You document why it failed, and you move on to your next pilot project. And this is the formula to how to really go and implement AI and testing it the right way, getting out of that pilot purgatory that many fall into. Okay. And so as we talk about real life examples, we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to show you this in real life testing here today. So I know we have Willie teed up and ready to show us some tools. So Willie, I'll pass it over to you, and then I'll go back to conclude once you're done showing us some of the test tools that you have for us.
Sounds good, Hector. And yeah, just trying to get ready here where I have no idea what it's going to give me, but I'm going to share my screen and we'll just see where it goes.
Perfect. Well, let's start with what are we looking to achieve, Willie? What is the tool going to show us first?
Yeah, so I simply started off is where I want to build just a quick tool how to clarify business growth scorecard and
Perfect.
or a business clarity and growth scorecard. And so I've created a prompt here. I'm just gonna
Can
share.
we share your screen?
Yeah, let me do that.
Perfect.
You can see my screen right now.
Yes.
This is like pulling the cloak back on the wizard at the Wizard of Oz to see what's really behind the curtain.
Yes. And so,
Uh,
guys, this is a tool. First, maybe we introduce the tool, Willie. I don't know if everybody knows what this is.
yeah. So I'm on Claude here right now. So this is a tool anyone can sign up a user for and have access to as soon as you want and get off the call. But here, what I tend to use is still ChatGPT to prompt me what I want to build. So right now here, I basically asked Chat to come up with an idea for me. Show me a live tool in Claude that I could quickly build out in on our Zoom call with our community. It's our Inner Circle business community. And so it gave me an idea here, and then I asked it to give me a prompt. And this is the first prompt it gave me. I'm copying that, pasting that into here, and we're just going to hit send and let Claude go to work on building this for us. So this could take a few minutes. And so in the meantime, I was going to go to our website where we actually have some of the Claude build tools on there and just show you what I've built already in the past. So first, while that is building, we're just going to go to our free tool section and then to our leadership assessment tool. So this tool was completely built just like exactly what I showed you how I started building this tool that we're currently building is just prompting ChatGPT to write me the prompt for Claude, and then it started building this tool. And so here we have the button begin the assessment. We put in name. I'm just going to put my name in here today, email, and OBS, CEO. And so I can start the assessment. And so I have a connection. So this is the connection piece. And so this assessment is how emotionally present and engaged are you as a leader? These questions reveal whether your team genuinely feels seen, valued, and safe under your leadership. So first question is, I know what personally I know what personally matters to each member of my team beyond their job responsibilities. So
Mhm.
now I rate myself from 1 to 2, how well I'm doing in that. Give
Yeah.
myself a 3. And so I'm just gonna go through this pretty quick. Anybody can go to our website and do this assessment, and I'll just show you.
Do we have maybe any volunteers that might want to do this with us today?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that's a good th idea, actually.
So the thought here, folks, is that this tool was to show us and show you as leaders to give you an output, a report that shows you how you scale or how you show as a leader. What are some of your strengths? What are some of your weaknesses? To give you a framework in which to go work on to improve your leadership skills. So we built this with that in mind. Willie built it with that in mind, and it's in our website for that. So who is brave? Who is a brave one in the room that would love to share and answer these live so that everybody can see what this does as a tool and as a benefit for anybody wanting to become a better leader?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not signing up to volunteer to have you walk me through. I don't have a team anyway, so it's not going to be applicable. But Willie, when you created this, did the AI tool actually build it all branded and colored and with the text boxes and all
E-
formatted?
Mhm.
Everything, everything.
Mhm.
Wow.
There is
Yes.
nothing built out manually. I haven't typed anything manually in, nothing.
And you didn't have to outsource anybody to design. Okay, you're just blowing my mind here. Okay.
And
Yeah.
and so right now I just generated based on the answers that I gave it. So it gave me a report of overall score of 75, and it gave me how I scored in each section. And then it gives me kind of profiles me how I'm doing, and then it's going to highlight kind of the hidden risk if left unaddressed. So staying at this level feels comfortable, but this is the zone where mediocrity quickly becomes your culture. High performance will eventually leave for leaders who invest more deeply. So yeah, it gives me in each category how I scored and what my opportunities are, and then it gives me the next steps, what I should focus on in the next 30 days. So it gives me a 30-day plan, what I could really focus on and improve on. And you can download a PDF file of this. And you also, this has been set up where you now automatically get an email with a copy of this to your email box as well.
Hmm.
And so
So,
the
go
more um, advanced or custom side of it, I had to set up a email program that I had to put into this program so it would send an email copy. So that was maybe the more IT advanced piece of this.
Well, I'm
ahead.
excited to have somebody go through this with you right here live, but how long did it take you from you had nothing and this was complete? How long?
About 3 hours.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So,
So before you go there, Willie, I want to make sure that we don't miss the opportunity because I think it's important and for somebody to learn, a little bit about themselves in this call
yep.
because that's what the community is about is embracing that we're all, human here and we need some help and this is our leadership opportunity to do that. So if there's anybody that's willing and brave enough to go through this live, we can certainly do it now. No? All right. That's okay. We'll let you go to our website and do it on your own. Otherwise, I'd be picking on a few of you here, but we'll let you escape today. Okay, Willie, go ahead.
Sounds good. And okay, so it has come up with, and I'm gonna download this, open it up on a new tab.
Willie, would you also be able to show us, and I don't know if it's in the prompt, I suppose, how did you get it to spit out a branded, colored everything, it says optimized business. So
Mhm.
how did you prompt it to actually show up, you know, business branded and everything to you?
Yeah, good question. So that's something that Claude now kind of knows. I've been building it for optimized business systems, so it kind of knows the brand a little bit. But originally, I just uploaded the logo in order to do that. And so here, let me see if I can open this. Doo-doo-doo.
And while you're doing that, maybe Hector, you can answer this question. I'm just
Yeah.
noticing in Willie's notes, designer notes, runs on your signature stack. So what does that word mean, stack? And I've heard you use it a little bit, but I don't even know what it means in context to this AI tool.
Yeah.
What is a stack
So
and what is stacking and what does that mean?
sure, a stack or tech stack that you would normally hear is the various tools. And stack is really a sense of like think of it as your toolbox or your toolbox kit, and everything that's inside of it is part of your stack. So a stack for this for this AI would be Claude is one tool, and then your second tool is Chat GPT, and then you might have another tool. So you have three tools in your stack. That's essentially is what it's your briefcase, your toolkit. That's what it means.
Thank you.
So right now, what I'm doing here, this is very basic. And so to your question, Alan, I've put in a couple things that I want this to improve on. So all I do is put that in, and now it's going back to work to improve this section. So we'll have to wait a little bit here and see what the improvement will show. And I urgent ask it to uh, OBS branding. So let's see if that branding improves a little bit.
Another option here, maybe we can. Another tool that might be helpful for everybody to best practice, and I'm gonna tailor it to the room right now, is you might have a questionnaire, or you might have a first call document that you have with your current clients. Okay, I see some of the folks that are in the rooms, just when I'm putting it out there. So this is like a first touch point document that you might create that might be manual today. Okay. And then what you do is you take that document and you can simply drop it. Like you see how there's that plus sign there on Claude, and you upload it into Claude. And you might say, hey, I just had this discovery call with this client. Suggest for me what I can offer as what offerings I can provide, what questions I can answer, what improvements I can suggest. And Claude will take that document and build out a very nice document for you. And if you already have it knowing your brand and your colors, you could say, add my color scheme, add my logo, add all of this into this proposal, and it could spit that out for you. And now you have this nice document to take to your customers.
That is totally making me think of Rachel and Peter, probably.
Yes, yeah. And even I think I just saw James on the call here, and I know James, you're out there growing your landscape business, and this is something that maybe, if you're not using it already, something that you could use for you as well. Right. And so it looks like we still have some more, it's still building and working through it. But as we do this, I know some of you were a little shy to use the questionnaire, but just raise your hands. Who has used Claude before? We have one person that's used Claude. Excellent. Are you using ChatGPT today? One, two, three. Okay, so three are using ChatGPT. Who's still using spreadsheets? or like Word documents? Okay, one, if you answer honestly, don't be shy. It's okay if you still are. Okay. All right, good. Well, that's good. If you are using those, Claude is a 10 times step up to spreadsheets and Word documents. It is the best tool, I personally believe. It can summarize, it can create, it can do Excel formulas, it can create all of that for you in seconds. So if you're using spreadsheets, it can encourage that you use Claude.
Can I ask a stupid question?
There are no stupid questions, but go
Potentially stupid.
ahead.
Yeah. One of my teachers used to say, there is only one stupid question. It's the one that's never asked. Anyway, so could I then perhaps take a existing Word document and upload it into Claude or an existing spreadsheet and upload it and somehow ask it to make it better and more functional and
100%.
okay.
Oh, yes. Absolutely, you can. Yes,
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
and you could tell it to make a search bar that you can search any word in that spreadsheet or whatever the case.
Yes. Go ahead, Rach.
What's the, like, I'm seeing a lot of similarities between Claude and ChatGPT. Obviously, this seems like it's a step up, but what's a big difference between the two? Because I've played with Chat and I know it does similar things that Claude does, but Claude seems to be the just a step up from it, but I'm not quite.
Yeah, Willie, do you want to answer that one or do you want
Yeah,
me?
the big difference here from my standpoint is this can design or code full websites or landing pages. It does the coding piece behind the software, so which ChatGPT doesn't do. And
Hmm.
so, and then the other thing, it can build out complete proposals, branded and everything, which chat can do to a certain extent, but yeah, this can build software tools for you.
Yes, but yeah, although Chat could build it, nowhere near the quality level that Claude can build them out for you. Uh, Not
And,
yet, anyways.
and while this is building, I will show another one. Manus is another one that we use a lot. Uh, this one here. Let me to sign in here.
So while you're doing that, are you signing in? Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
got it. Okay,
Oh, it's giving me issues. Why?
it's okay. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. I have one that I can show live.
So actually, this is done building here now.
Oh, it is
Let's
okay. Perfect.
just see quickly if we see an improvement on this one. So begin assessment. So we're here, step one of two. Tell us about the company. Um, so we have two quick details so we can collaborate and result recommendations to companies at your stage. So it's asking revenue. I'm just going to go through, see what this will actually do. Team size, let's say 16 to 50. Our company has clearly document vision that every team member can articulate. Agree. So it walks us through a number of different questions again. I'm just gonna go quickly through here. It looks like we got 15 questions. Every role in our organization has clearly defined responsibilities. Um, disagree, agree. I'm just gonna, so it just built me another assessment tool basically. And now it gave me kind of my score again and how we're scoring in the business. So yeah, it's not perfect. So let's say now I see something that isn't perfect where this here, you might want to change how this looks. I can copy this, put that in and say, make this part look better or whatever. And it's going to go to work and make that better. So that's the interesting part about it. You don't have to type anything, you just have to tell it what to do and what to fix, whatever isn't coming through the way you want it. If I said
Hmm.
I want to use different colors, I would just type in the different colors I want on it and it will change all the colors.
Yeah.
So, did you have something that you want to share there, Hector?
Yeah, yeah. I want to show them just maybe how to do a live. Here, I'm going to show my screen. So this is a problem that someone came to me with, and they said, "Hey, listen, like I need to provide a new contract agreement, wage agreement review for my people." Okay, and I said, "Okay." So they sent me their old document. So you can see here, I took their old document and what I needed them from them, and I plugged it right into Claude. I pasted it right in. Okay. And then I said, I want you to give me the instructions on this. And what it did is oh no, this is not the right one. Sorry, my bad. I thought I had the right one open. Uh nope, not that one. Here we go. This one, this compensation one. And so, as you can see, we had here all of these different prompts. So here it is. So I plugged in their wage review document that they sent to me. I said, okay, adjust it to give 1% on gross profit, 5%. And I was prompting it to really change this out for us. And then you can see how it starts to clean this all up and you can see the end result. Through each prompt that I was given it, it was giving me sections of questionnaires to go back and answer for them. And it fixed a few things, but it was, it was back and forth with the output. Now look at what it gave me. A complete construction division work job document that summarizes the position. It gives the full compensation structure. It gives all of the like what I prompted to include a vehicle allowance, to put in the KPIs for the sales targets as I prompted it here to make sure that it did that. It included quarterly commission bonuses and it stated the payment conditions in which it would not pay out bonuses for. So all of these things all done in a very professional looking way. And all it came from was a prompt and a document, an old document that I plugged in here. And this is like very live tool that you could take and then now print, make it into your logo and take, to your employees or to your customers if you want to do a sales pitch close document, a proposal per se. And so those are sort of the ways of how I've been using it. And truly recommend that it's an easy way for you to get started. Saves you plenty of time versus you doing a template and a Word document where you're still typing it all out. All you need to do is give it a prompt and it builds it out for you. Now, you have anything else there, Willie, to share?
Uh, I'm still trying to log into this one program. I don't know why it's not letting me in here now.
Okay. No worries. That's okay. What is important for us is to remember now as we close off this section is the action items and the to-dos here, really, when it comes to this week's sort of messaging, and that's to go build out your success criteria first. Understand what is it that you're looking to build and to fix, and then give yourself 30 days to go do that. Not 6 months, not a year. Like go give yourself a specific timeline with an understanding of what success will look like when you reach there. And knowing that when you get to 30 days, you have three critical decisions that you're going to make. You're either going to scale it because you found that the tool actually works for what you need because it showed you the output. You're going to give it a second try, meaning you're going to extend the testing period for another 30 days, or you're going to kill it. But if after that 60-day period, you again do not have the return on your investment, at that point, it's either kill or scale. It's no longer, I'm going to now extend it one more time. And so by following this protocol, you'll move from we tried AI to AI now is how we operate. And you'll start to become an expert with the AI tools and really start leveraging them to save your time, to save your money, and to really get the ROI on these. But it takes 30 days, and we want to be realistic. And weeks 1 to 2 are going to be very tough because you're learning the tool. You're spending time out of your normal activities to go learn it and really become an expert at it. So that's what today's live demo of AI and AI usage was is intended to be here. And so I'll pass it back to you, Alan, and to Willie, and then to the group. We can maybe get some questions from those of you that maybe are in your computers today. Maybe we just open up Claude and start playing around for the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, we could definitely do that too. I have to think that everybody on the call today has at least one question, has some. I'll start, and then Rachel and Dave and James and Peter, you get your gears working, and we'll have you submit your questions as well. But this kind of goes back to last week, Hector, and I hope it's relevant for today. But you said something one time about AI, even you're using it to reply to emails. And so my question then in that is, how in God's green earth would a AI ever, how would it answer an email in my language, the way I speak, with the words that I would use, and sound like me? I don't even know if I'm asking the question right, without my involvement in it. And can it do the same thing to reply to direct messaging that comes into me through social platforms?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Through Claude Cohort, and it's another tool that Claude has that that ChatGPT doesn't. You can actually plug it to your email accounts and giving it access to your email. I mean, some feel comfortable doing that. I'm one of those. Others don't. And then you can prompt it to respond to certain emails. And if they come from, if they're related to a specific follow-up activity, mostly like if I'm going to be going to my kid's soccer game and my wife, say if my wife is sending me calendar invites to this, check my calendar and respond based on my calendar activity, and it can do that for me.
Okay, stretching me some more. All right.
But
All
it's
right.
all plugging it in together though, Alan, right? Like you have to be able to, like it has access to my Google Calendar. It has access to my Gmail account. And so I trust it to be able to do that because I don't have anything there that's, you know, I would call it private and or like, if somebody finds out about it, it's not going to, be weird, or it's going to cause a lot of pain in a sense, right? It's just my boring calendar. So
Okay.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Inner Circle. If something in today's conversation resonated, inspired you, or gave you a breakthrough, please share it with someone you care about. The right idea at the right time can change someone's business and their life. So make sure you follow the show, leave a review, and stay connected with us because this community is built on relationships, real support, and real growth together. Remember that clarity means nothing without action. So choose one insight from today, put it into motion this week, and notice the shift. Thank you for being part of this journey, for showing up for your growth, and for being part of the Inner Circle community. See you in the next episode, and let's keep growing together.